Before somebody comes at me, yes, I know that this is not the rifle that Owen Grady used in Jurassic World. It is brand new after all. Also, 44 Magnum, even with Federal's Hammerdown, is not probably rated for giant dinosaurs. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna guess no. But that said, I just couldn't resist having some fun with this setup. Hey everyone, I'm Julie Golob, Smith & Wesson ambassador, sharing guns, gear, shooting sports, and more here on YouTube, juliegolob.com, my email list, and at Julie Golob on social media. I am very excited to share a rifle a long time in the making, the Smith & Wesson Model 1854. Yes, indeed, and they were very kind to send this one to me, so thank you, Smith & Wesson. But before I go into the features, a little history for you. Smith & Wesson was the first to patent a lever action design 170 years ago, and I have some neat historic firearms to share with you. These images are courtesy of the Cody Firearms Museum. The first is a Smith & Wesson made rifle from their Norwich days. Beautiful, isn't it? This next one is the Smith Jennings that Oliver Fisher Winchester sought out for his own personal collection as the Winchester predecessor. And this last one is believed to have been made between 1852 and 1854. Now, I've shared this in past videos, but if you haven't had a chance to visit the Cody Firearms Museum just outside of Yellowstone, or if you haven't been there since the renovation, you must add this to your bucket list of places to see. It is incredible. And if you like a bit of a tour, check out Forgotten Weapons video in the cards and linked below, just for a feel of what you're going to get to see if you go. The new Model 1854 has evolved from those early designs as a sturdy and handy lever action rifle with some classic details, and yet with modern features the gun owner of today will appreciate. Let's start with the barrel. You have a 19¼ inch stainless steel barrel that is also threaded underneath the cap, allowing you to add an accessory, a can, muzzle brake, whatever you choose. Not to interfere with that threading, there's a front sight with a brass bead. The golden bead is definitely old school compared to popular fiber optics of today, but if you haven't shot a gold bead sight, it acts like a fiber optic when the light hits it. It's really kind of neat. The metal reflects and just lights it up, making it easier to see even in lower lighting conditions like daybreak or as the sun is starting to drop down on the horizon. Now, traveling down the barrel, you come to the polymer forend. You can see the 3 M-LOK slots at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. With so many people owning and adding accessories to their ARs, Smith & Wesson carried that capability over to the 1854. Those are also a very nice level of texturing to prevent your hand from slipping. Between the polymer stock and the forend and the stainless steel, you have a really great all-weather option here. Next, let's talk about the receiver. The Model 1854 is made in Springfield, Massachusetts, where the company's Hammer Forge is still in operation. Yes, they've moved to Tennessee, but the Springfield factory is still open. If you've ever had the opportunity to take a tour of the old factory and have seen the employees running that forge, oh my gosh, it is amazing to see. When I was working at headquarters for a number of years, the days the forge was running, the whole floor would just shake throughout the entire building. It was just that powerful. And you'll see some footage in here courtesy of Gun Talk Media, and I'll leave the link to their full video below and in the cards as well. The 1854 gets to take advantage of Smith & Wesson's in-house forge. Now, why does forging matter? Well, when you cast metal, it's melted and poured into a mold, and the result can make the end product more brittle, porous, and more prone to breaking or cracking. Forging involves heating the metal to a very high temperature, but still keeping it in solid form. Then the forging process beats or presses the product into shape. This pressing or pounding action keeps the metal uniform throughout the process, and all those air bubbles just get beaten out, making it stronger. The rifle is chambered in .44. You can shoot .44 Magnum and .44 Special out of it, and throughout the video I will be using both. For .44 Special, I have Federal's good old Champion 200 grainers. These are target loads known for reliable brass and primers and consistent performance. These rounds are awesome to shoot out of a pistol, but out of the Model 1854, yeah, they are super soft and just a dream to shoot. The Magnum load I'm shooting is Federal's Hammerdown 44 Rem Magnum 270 grainers, and it is specifically designed for optimal cycling out of lever guns. It has a modified chamfered case for easier feeding. The bullet is optimized for better terminal performance out of lever action rifles, and it's meant to run flawlessly through tubular magazines. Definitely more recoil than the Champion, but between the rubber butt pad and the heft of this rifle, they are very, very pleasant to shoot. 44 is currently it as far as the caliber options that are being offered right now. And many people have asked about 38, 460, or even 500. I cannot speak to future products or caliber offerings, but seeing the response already, I would be very surprised if more calibers weren't made available, especially with how well this has been received. As far as magazine capacity, it is 9+1, and the magazine is removable. This is really nice because it allows you to remove the tube and unload the firearms safely without having to have to rack out each round one at a time. It also has some nice checkering at the end of the tube to make it even easier to remove. We have a Picatinny style rail here so you can mount an optic if you choose. Now traveling down to the rear, the excess sights ghost ring rear sight completes that set of iron sights if you choose not to add an optic. Like the fore end, the polymer stock offers a bit of texturing, just enough to give it a little good gripping surface. It has a very comfortable length of pull, and the drop in comb makes it very easy to get on this ghost ring. And I mentioned the pad earlier, but here it is, an inch or so of material to help buffer the impact of recoil, making shooting 44 Magnum just a joy to shoot, really it does. Now moving on to the lever, it's an oversized loop to accommodate gloves, but it's not too big to make it feel like you're gonna bash your fingers on it. This is an added feature in the event that you're wearing gloves for cold weather or while you're hunting. And I gotta tell you, this action is super smooth. Admittedly, I don't have a ton of lever action experience, but I've certainly handled the extremes. I'm talking about the crunchy, ratchety manual action that requires a little elbow grease. And then the other end of the spectrum, the highly finely tuned cowboy action, lever action rifles with those feather light actions that are best suited for competition. The 1854 is the best of all worlds here with a very smooth action that is durable and trustworthy in a variety of conditions. As I shared this on social media, someone asked me if the action was like the Shield EZ and that it was easier to manipulate than the action of other rifles. And I would say yes. You don't need a huge amount of force to eject around, and closing the lever to feed around into the chamber also isn't as rough or as difficult as it can be on some other models. You'll see a flat trigger here, popular on precision bolt guns, ARs, and on pistols as well. The face of the trigger also has some serrations. There's a reason why this trigger shape is so popular, and it really does make for a more consistent pull, allowing for people with different hand sizes and grip positioning to shoot this rifle well. Weighing it on my Wheeler trigger scale, I'm trying to keep it consistent by positioning the scale on the bottom of the trigger, right above that slight hook, and you'll see that it comes in under 4 pounds, and the 3-pull average here is in the footage. Now let's talk safeties. The rifle has that classic captive half-cock position that can be used as a safety during loading. It also comes with a cross-bolt safety accessible along the back of the receiver in reach for that trigger finger that toggles from right to left as an additional safety. I had a chance to shoot this gun for the first time at SHOT Show for a special writers event. It was very hard not to channel my inner cowgirl and see how fast I could do a lever action mag dump with it. I showed restraint, I was good, but I could not resist when I got my own. So here it is. Aside from shooting some tiny dinosaurs you saw at the beginning of this video, I also shot a couple of groups with it with both the Champion and the Hammerdown. Here's what those look like. Weight is at 108.8 ounces, under 7 pounds, making this a rather light and handy rifle, yet still packed with capability, and that MSRP is $12.79. Another popular question, when will these be available? Well, Smith & Wesson's president, Mark Smith, showed off a photo that he was sent at SHOT Show of a pallet heading out of the factory. So they are shipping. So if you want one, you need to call your dealer and ask about it. Now, there are also limited editions of this rifle. There's a walnut stock PVD finish option with only 1,854 of these hitting the market. There's also a gold inlay engraved version with a Model 29 revolver. Oh, it's beautiful. These are stunning and truly rare collector's items. I want them all. 2 rounds left, that's all I got. 44 special. Let's make them count. I love it. Super fun. Model 1854 from Smith & Wesson. That about covers it. If you haven't seen my last video on the new Performance Center Spec Series, it's here on the screen. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, like and share it with others. A subscribe is always appreciated. And until the next one, be safe, have fun, and live your life fully loaded.